Well, we actually had a opportunity to visit priests at Regina Cleri residence in Boston. We asked them a few questions about their ministry, retirement, the aging process. And for this particular segment, we asked residents what was the most rewarding part of their ministry. So let's find out what they had to say.
I would say that experience of Latin America. As I say, some of the guys back home perhaps had more difficult work in front of them than we did, because we were living in a culture that was very, very supportive of the efforts of the church and the efforts of priests. And I would say that would be an experience that I wouldn't want to be without.
I think my having served with the St. James Society, that's the main thing in my priesthood, the thing I remember, the thing I relish most, the time down in South America. We worked in the, up in the mountains and slum areas, but the people wonderful, gracious people they are.
I think the most rewarding part was going on the missions and living with the poor people and, sharing their life and living with them. Sometimes we go down there and we think that we're going to teach them something, but they end up teaching us. And I think that's the most rewarding part. Living with the poor people, really teaches you, what life is all about. So I'd say that would be the most rewarding part of my ministry, especially in South America.
I put the word priesthood. That is the most rewarding in a sense, because in parishes, the whole Latin American thing, the Washington scene, the Boston scene, all these different things, but the same thing, trying to bring God's message to people, and the people make the whole thing.
Well, I think it was as being pastor in Belmont. And I was there for so long, I got to know people and everything else.
Yeah, well, in general, and each part had its own pluses and minuses. So it isn't as though there was one or two that was very, very great and everything else was kind of minor by comparison. It wasn't that way at all. But I think the thing in general that I like best is dealing with people, having the feeling, this may sound odd, but having the feeling that I was really doing what I felt God wanted me to do. It wasn't as though I was like applying for a job or something like that. It was a commitment. It was a mission, and I felt that in all of the different. They were very different types of service, but each had its own challenges. Each had its own pluses and minuses. But I really liked it all, and one was not very different from the other from the satisfaction point of view.
I had the special privilege when I went to South America. I was in the country of Bolivia. In the high part, there's a high, dry plateau called the Altiplano.